So you would think that I would be hearing a lot more people cutting grass around here. So far, I've only heard one person cutting grass, and then I cut grass just the other day. I'm not hearing a lot of people cutting grass. So I'm kind of guessing that it's just not grass cutting season yet. You know, we were busy all through March. It was cold, it was off and on, and people were bringing their mowers in, but the business has just pretty much dried up for the last, I don't know, maybe a week and a half or so. I look at all the YouTube analytics for different people and different lawnmower repair business YouTube channels, and they all peak every year in May. So as I said, I've had quite a bit of customers come in March, and I had two come in that I wanted to talk about, and then I want to talk about this one. So I had one come in, said that needed a tune-up. He just wanted everything done. We put the tubes in the back tires, did a complete tune-up, oil change, the whole thing. It was surging. So I think it was a significant bill. And it was a used lawnmower. I mean, he bought it like used the year before, I guess, just prior to last summer. And he said he dealt with the surging, put new blades on it. He just wanted the whole thing overhauled. Now, it was pretty cold when I worked on that one. So, and it had a Kohler engine. Now, the thing about Kohler engines is when it's cold outside, the Beast, I've talked about the Beast many times, it's got a Kohler engine. When it's cold, you choke it, you start it, and then you push the choke almost all the way in, but not all the way in. And then it's got to warm up. And then you can push the choke the rest of the way in after it warms up. But the thing is if you run the throttle down on the Beast, when it's cold, it really does not like it. It surges a little bit, and it just, now it's warm, runs fine. You don't need the choke after you start it. You just push the choke all the way in, and you can instantly put it down into a lower idle, and it runs fine. So Kohler engines just don't like cold temperatures. So I put in a new carburetor, and it was running perfect. I took it back to him, and he drove it into his garage, and he's just overly excited about how well it was running. It's never ran this good. So last Saturday, he calls me up, says, it's surging again. I said, he said, could it be the gas? Or, you know, he asked me a bunch of different things. I said, don't worry about it. I'll come over in just a minute. Now, this was a little bit further away. It's probably 20 miles away. So we got in the truck, and we just made a day of it. We ended up going to Walmart and different things, but that's beside the point. Went over to this place, and what I had done, it was a mistake. I wasn't thinking about it being a Kohler engine and cold temperatures and all that. But when I put the carburetor in, I adjusted the choke adjustment so it would run. So I ran it for 15 minutes, and it didn't, I mean, everything was fine. But remember, it was partially choked because I choked it, and it was colder temperatures. So in colder temperatures, Kohler engines need a choke. As soon as it warmed up and he started cutting grass, it doesn't need the choke anymore, and so it was choking out. So I went over there, walked over to the mower. I mean, I wasn't there 3 minutes. Walked over the mower, started it up. I instantly knew it was choking to death. Took out my Swiss Army knife, popped open the Phillips screwdriver, loosened that choke back up so it would open up. Ran fine. He jumped on it. I said, hey, I'm going to stay in town for about 10 minutes. If anything happens, give me a call and I'll come right back. I offered to stay on his property, but he didn't want me there, and I understand that. I wouldn't want somebody watching me cut grass either. So he called me back in 10 minutes, said it's running great, and I haven't heard a word from him since. So, you know, I don't mind that kind of warranty. I don't mind it at all. I just didn't think about it. And, you know, those things are going to happen. And it was a simple adjustment. It was free. And the thing is, it wasn't even like it was a waste of gas. Because, like I said, we went into town, into Walmart. And I forgot what all we did. So it wasn't even a wasted trip. The next one that came in, well, I don't know if it was the next one, but another one came in. And it was surging. And this one, I still don't have an explanation for. I just don't. I don't know what happened. So it was surging. He calls me up and says, I want a new carburetor in this thing. I said, oh, okay, yeah, bring it over. We'll put a carburetor on it. Well, when I got over here, I went through my standard diagnostic process, and I hooked up an external tank to it. to the carburetor. It's right here. You just unplug the fuel line from the carburetor, you hook this in, you put gas in it, you hold it up like an IV, you start the engine, it runs fine. It ran fine, no problems. So I determined that was bad gas. So I emptied the gas out of the gas tank, cleaned it up, put a little bit more gasoline in it so it would drain out, so kind of flushed it out a little bit. Put fresh gas in it, started up, drove it around the yard, drove it over there, just up and down the road and different things. I probably ran it for 20 minutes. Ran fine. He came by to pick it up. I started it up, drove it over to this trailer, loaded it on his trailer. He took it off his trailer when he got home. Ran fine. Week later, he calls me up, surgeon again. Don't know what it is. He says, I put fresh gas in it. As soon as I left your place, I went over to the gas station, filled it up. But it's running bad. So he brings it over. Again, I hook up the external tank, and it runs fine. Nothing wrong. As soon as I put his gas back, gas line back on it, started running funny. Well, we played with it on his trailer for a bit, and I realized that the carburetor is, for some reason, not stopping the flow of gasoline from the gas tank, or specifically the fuel pump. The fuel pump was pushing past the float valve, a little needle valve. I don't understand it. Like I said, it ran fine with the external tank. But if this was the problem when he brought it over the first time, it did not demonstrate that after I changed out the gas. I seriously think it was two different problems. I seriously do. But I can't prove it. It was the same symptom as the first one. So I bought a carburetor. And the thing is he bought the carburetor and I gave him free labor. And the reason he bought the carburetor is because that's what he wanted in the first place. So he would have paid the same, no matter how it went, other than he had to bring it over a second time, he would have paid the same amount. So he wasn't out any extra money than what he originally thought he was going to be out of. But he seems happy. Didn't get a call back, so everything seems to be good. Yesterday, I get a call from this lady. This lady, I worked on this mower a lot last year. And my first recommendation to her was, this thing is not worth fixing up. She brought it over for a new, or to get the deck fixed, because there was something, the belt was falling off. So I put the belt on, and as soon as I did, the head gasket just started smoking terribly bad. What it was, as soon as I got the belt to the right tension, it put a load on the engine, and then it exposed that the head gasket was blown. Prior to that, you wouldn't have known. It just wasn't pushing enough, it just didn't have enough work behind it. But as soon as you put a load behind it, it started smoking terribly bad. Also, she said the carburetor is leaking by. So she has a shutoff valve on it, and she used to shut it off. Well, she told me to shut off the valve when I'm done, and that way gasoline doesn't get into the crankcase of the engine. I just forgot to do it. So I woke up the next morning and gas had flooded the crankcase. So I drained the engine oil, put new oil in it. So this thing's starting to rack up a lot of problems. So she said, well, go ahead and put a carburetor in. I put in a head gasket. So, and then when I got all that done, the governor, which is inside the engine, broke. Well, it didn't break. It started sticking really bad. Which again, would seem to me, once we got the engine or the mower running correctly, under a load, it was just too much for it. Now remember, this lawnmower is 30 years old. It's got some time on it, a lot of time. They don't even make this engine anymore, and some of the parts aren't available. The problem is she just had a stroke, and she loves to cut grass. And her son is disabled and still lives at home with her. So one of the more prominent people in town contacted me and says, you're going to have to get this thing running, or we're going to have to buy her a new one. We're going to do something. And I couldn't say no to the person who just called me and said, we got to take care of this. So I said, I'll tell you what, if she pays for the parts, I will do the labor for free. We'll get this thing running as best as we can. I said it's old, it should be scrapped, which, remember, she already agreed to scrapping the mower and going out and buying a new one. But this prominent person who felt bad for her because she's a stroke victim and has a disabled adult son. I mean, he's probably my age. So I spent the next month working on this for free. So I take it back to her. It's running great. It's not smoking. Everything's working fine. And she gives me the money for the parts. I mean, it wasn't overly expensive. It really wasn't. I figure I just did a tune-up on this zero turn and put 2 new tubes in it for the same price as what I did this job for. So it just wasn't a lot. So yesterday she calls me and says it's surging again. So and the belt came off, which this deck is terrible. I mean, she has hit everything you can imagine. I welded, I didn't even say that, I'll tell you that. I had to weld on a new bracket because the bracket broke. The thing is bent, so I've tried to bend it back. So hopefully we got it fixed now. But so she says the belt fell off and it's surging again. So I bring it back over here. Now, she has admitted that she left gas in it over the winter. Now, here's the thing. She said, I didn't run it last summer after you brought it back. Well, that's just not possible. I had this thing totally clean. I mean, it was spotless when I took it back to her, because I wanted her to have a nice mower. And you can see the tires are dirty, or the wheels. I had all this cleaned up, spotless. She has obviously spilt oil because all this is sealed up. So she's added oil. And there was oil. It was low on oil this morning when I checked it. It was low on oil. It was about a half quart low. Maybe a quarter quart low. So either she has forgotten, which I'm sure that's probably what it is. She has forgotten that she ran it last year. But she said, I didn't run it last year, so there shouldn't be anything wrong with it. But she admitted that she left gas in it over the winter, and her son, disabled son, drained the old gas out and put new gas in it, which I don't know if that's true. So if she'd have put new gas in it, it wouldn't be, I mean, you can see it's way down here. It's probably where I filled it. But anyway, so I tell her, okay, I'll take it back and I'll get it fixed. She says, and I'm not spending any more on the parts for this. That's out of the question. She says, I want this fixed. So, I mean, granted, she's had a stroke, and she's probably frustrated with life. But I don't know what to do with things like this. I mean, now I'm going to lose money on this. Trying to do a good deed for the neighborhood and the community last year, and now I'm spending money. I'm gonna lose money on this because now I got to buy a new carburetor. And the thing is I'm sure it's because she left gas in it. That's just one of the downsides that I'm going to have with this business, is trying to figure out the warranty items. Like I said, the first 2 I didn't have a problem with. Well, the second one wasn't even a warranty item. He told me to change carburetor. I didn't. Not that I was ignoring him. I was trying to save him money, and he understood that. He was totally fine with that. He appreciated that I was trying to save him money. Might have been a little bit frustrating. The first guy was totally disgusted with me. You could tell he was just aggravated that he just spent so much money on this mower, and his wife probably said, you're not spending more on that mower. And so when I come over, you could tell he was aggravated. But then when I just adjusted the carburetor just a little bit, the choke, he was back to being overly ecstatic, to the point, I think when he called me, I think he was crying that he was so happy. I mean, Carolyn thought so too. So I just know that sometimes I guess I'm going to get taken advantage of, and I'm not really sure how to handle it. Especially like things like this. I mean, she's disabled with a disabled son, and her neighbor, who is a prominent member of this community. I can't express how prominent it is. She's probably one of the more prominent people of this community. There's only 2 or 3 people like that, and she happens to be one of them. So I can't say no. I guess, and sometimes you're just going to have to do good deeds, no matter how much it hurts. So I look at it a little bit and think, well, if I get any customers out of this, or anybody recognizes that this is a good deed, it might pay off for itself. But it's just tough it is tough being in a small community where reputations are made with one bad service, one bad problem, one problem. And all of a sudden it's all over the internet that, you know, I'm a rip-off, I'm not helping people. So I'll just eat it. It's only 22 bucks for that carburetor. I mean, I don't want to do this all the time, so I got to be cautious. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video on my other channel. So I hope I can inspire you to get through the problems so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.